Excuse me, could you smell my balls? Tell me if they smell natural. Topic number 1. A Chinese doctor has dedicated his life to proving that bad driving is a treatable disease. Before we deal with how that affects you and me because of our economy, I'd like to deal with some of his facts and figures. According to him, one person dies in China every 5 minutes. According to him, 300 people die a day. The math doesn't seem to add up to me. You do the math, though, because that's not what I do. I do this. I talk. But wait, no, that's bullshit. I did do the math. And if there's 24 hours in a day and you divide those 24 hours by 60 minutes, then you get 1,440. If you divide 1,440 by... Anyway, it turns out to be 288 deaths, not 300. So he's already wrong by 12%. Big deal. I mean, that's the easy part. I did that math in like 2 minutes. He's trying to find a cure for bad driving. So if he can't do the easy shit, why should we have any faith in him that he can do the hard shit? Moreover than that, if he actually gets the government to recognize that bad driving is a curable disease, then it will be a governmentally recognized disease. And if that happens, then he'll be able to declare China as having a global epidemic, and the United Nations will fund to research and cure the global epidemic. And if the United Nations is funding China to research and cure a global epidemic, then they're going to go to the person who is the leader in the field of research on that epidemic, Jin Hiking. So long story short, if he can have it globally recognized as a treatable disease, then he can declare China as being in a state of epidemic. Then he can get money from the United Nations for research and development on a cure, and then he will become a billionaire because he is the leader in the field of bad driving as a treatable disease. On the topic of bad driving, which is still topic number 1, the 405 in Los Angeles is shutting down this weekend. The 405 is the major artery. Everything flows through the 405. I've lived in Los Angeles for a long time. I love Los Angeles. The people, I love everything about Los Angeles. It's really a great place to be. But the problem with Los Angeles is it never rains there. So people's cars are zooming along the highway and they're leaking just a little bit of oil, and the oil is spreading out across the highway, and it's always dry and it's always 70 degrees. So on the rare occasion where it does rain, you've got a thin layer of water over a thin layer of oil, and people are driving as if it didn't rain because they don't know any other way to drive. So they drive 45 miles an hour until they see a red light, then they hit their brakes and they slide into the next car. It's almost a state of emergency in Los Angeles every time it rains, and they're closing down the 405. It's ridiculous. Topic number 2. Amy Russell of Manchester, Connecticut is walking across Connecticut to train for her walk across Africa, which is kind of retarded, to do a walk for water. She's raising money so that people in Africa can have clean water. It's probably a good thing. If people would do small things to help each other, then everybody would be okay. That's the way I feel about it. But you shouldn't have to. That would be communism. Cardinal O'Malley is selling 6 churches. I don't even know how to talk about this. I mean, we know the Crystal Cathedral just claimed bankruptcy. What I never told you guys was the person who founded the Crystal Cathedral has just been voted off the board of directors, and he is no longer the owner of the Crystal Cathedral. This doesn't really sound like religion. Doesn't this sound like business? Voting people off the board, selling properties that aren't producing whatever. That's what it is. Topic number 4, dreams really can come true. In Boston, a guy's not going to have to go to jail, and he's not going to have to repent or do any kind of community service for having felt up a 9-year-old boy, because he was sleepwalking when he did it. So, according to them, it wasn't his intention or anything like that to be feeling up a 9-year-old boy, but you gotta wonder what the hell was this guy dreaming about while he was sleepwalking and walking around and feeling up a 9-year-old kid. Maybe dreams really do come true. Topic 5. Argentina celebrates same-sex marriage number 2,697. There have been 2,697 same-sex marriages in Argentina since it was legal for people of the same sex to get married, which makes it the highest. Hats off to you. 60% of the marriages are man-to-man, which makes that 40% cool. I'd like to point out that you couldn't have the word marriage without the letters that spell rage. So let them get married. It's outdated. Oh, and I can't go by without giving some kind of love for this guy, Nico Am. He's in Australia. He's been fighting for 3 years to get his driver's license. I guess he wanted to point out some of the flaws in the Freedom of Religion Act, so he went to the DMV wearing a pasta strainer on his head, and he said it was necessary because it was required by his religion. And his religion is he's a Pastafarian. He won, and he was just given his license, and on his picture, it's a picture of him with a pasta strainer on his head. Good going. But on the other hand, now it's a governmentally recognized religion, so he can file for all sorts of like tax-free. There's so many benefits, it's just retarded for me to even think about. But he can take advantage of all of them. He's a Pastafarian, and it's a governmentally recognized religion. Catholics aren't happy about this at all. But I believe if instead of wearing a pasta strainer, he had dressed like Angus Young, that they'd be just freaking thrilled about it.
What about the place I work? Everything is wonderful where I go to work. I work with a whole bunch of people who talk like this and say that's like that over there. You want to go get that? That's over there. They all talk like this. But they're a bunch of really good people. First off, there's Brian Pearson. What a great guy. Truly phenomenal in every way. Completely unsurpassed in his ability to surprise me. If I got some task to do and I'm dreading the upcoming task because I want to be able to get out of there in time, perhaps I might want to do something like have a lunch today. Brian Pearson will walk over there and get it done. And then leave. And most times he doesn't even say anything to me about it. Is that a great guy or what? I don't know.